Hey, beautiful people, what's up? Welcome to the Ultimate YouTube channel. We go all around the world to explore music, psychology, philosophy, and more. I'm your hostess, Rosalie Elliott. I'm excited that you're here. Would you hit that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss a thing? Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about these videos. I have been hearing about Pierce the Veil more and more. Shout out today goes to my students and to Tessa specifically for making this suggestion. Pierce the Veil, the boy who could fly. I don't know who Pierce the Veil is. No, don't come at me. This is what we're about here. To learn, to explore. So I want to check them out. Because it seems not only now that my students have been pointing this band out to me, but for some other reason, maybe my phone was listening, my algorithm is pushing some Pierce the Veil content across my sphere, my algorithm, and so I need to check it out. They are a rock band, an American rock band formed in 2006 in San Diego. Let's listen to Pierce the Veil, the boy who could fly. I know there's a live version, but I'm going to go ahead and listen to this one from the album Selfish Machines. I got to start over. This is crazy. I was waiting for some type of increase. Some type of intro, some type of, let me ease into this. Nope. Hard from the start. I'm going to pull up these lyrics. I gotta pause for a second. This is fried my brain cells. I am so impressed. They're going hard from the start. Like I said, I was expecting some type of intro, verse 1, let me ease into this. But they went hard from the start. And I cannot get over, the harmonies are beautiful. But I can't get over just how hardcore they're going. And yet, the pristine, clean voice. This was released in 2010 from the album Selfish Machines, post-hardcore metal, experimental rock. And I hear these influences of punk, and I hear the metal, and the way that it's coming together. We're not even going to talk about the lyrics yet. I'm going to talk about those in a second, so buckle up, because I have a feeling they're going to be pretty special. But they're harmonies that transition from the scream, that vocal fry, to then that clean singing voice. And the harmonies. Have I mentioned the harmonies? Oh my gosh. was crazy. The guitar. My goodness. Of course, yeah, end with that. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. I gotta stop. I'm gonna stop for copyright reasons, but also because I can't hear the screeching anymore. It's gonna make my blood coil. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this outro, I almost would have expected something slow like that in the intro to brace myself for the heavy start. But that, I think psychologically, that's also pretty powerful to hit us so hard from the start. Because when you experience love, sometimes it feels like it hits you out of nowhere. And when you experience betrayal and the loss thereof, that too hits you out of nowhere. So I think it's fitting that they went hard from the start and then the outro kind of fades out. But the fact that these beautiful notes in the end sound melodic and sad but sweet, in contrast to the strings being, I think it was, done with strings, I'm assuming, I'm not sure, being played in such a distorted, crooked, off-key way, as if to make it feel like some old carousel merry-go-round that's rusty and hasn't been used in decades and lost all its magic, squeaking as someone's pushing it in a circle, or those merry-go-rounds on a playground. I imagine this nasty, weird, apocalyptic-looking abandoned carousel on a playground where once love and joy and laughter lived is now abandoned and is just an image of decay and something being broken. It makes me think of these wound up clocks, these little clown clocks, or some creepy circus, or these beautiful wound up clocks that make a beautiful melody, and when they're no longer taken care of or they're out of tune, they sound eerie and creepy. Complete eeriness in contrast to those notes that are being played in the end. And I think that duality that's being painted here is fitting to the lyrics and to this idea of someone who could fly, who is coming crashing down hard. Someone who loved, who experienced something that sounds beautiful and sweet, that now turns into shattered pieces of glass from the sky. What crazy songwriting. A lot of poetry and art here, and we'll talk about them in a second. But even the image of the album, this boy and this girl, just picturing these teenage kids, this pubescent love that is looking at each other. Things seem innocent and sweet, like they just came from or are going to a dance. The stark green and eerie trees in the background, again, an image of duality, of contrast to me. The way that she is looking at him, I'm interpreting this as almost a calloused look, perhaps. She's getting ready to, or has already broken his heart. That's my interpretation, though, which is very subjective right now because I've just listened to the song. Him looking at her with a level of, again, subjective interpretation, now that I've looked at some of the lyrics, a level of almost disappointment, but maybe also a hint of hate or disdain. It's not a sweet love. It's not kindness. It's not warmth. Something has happened, and it's scary. It's eerie looking. The font of the band's name, Pierce the Veil, fitting to this clown, distorted carnival feel. And it's really interesting because it makes me think of, on surface level, of a love that's gone sour and of things that have gone bad. But on a deeper level, it makes me think that this song really puts into music, into art, very well, just how painful and gruesome betrayal can be. It's really not just, oh, you broke my heart. If you've ever really loved someone, cared for someone, had a vision for a future with them, felt in love, felt like you knew them or thought you did or wanted to or felt like they knew you, and that whole world comes shattering, that is not just a simple breakup movie scene. That is not just a moment of, oh no, disappointment. We're talking physical ailment. We're talking heartache and emotional turmoil can lead to physical illness. That's how painful that kind of stuff can be. And I'm gathering here an image of a boy who could fly, a boy who isn't flying anymore, perhaps, that even that time tense and that possibility of flying, but not actual present progressive or present tense of he's doing it anymore, paints this picture to me of someone who used to, who did something, could something, but now maybe no longer does. It's time to take you home. Feels so early. I promised I would bring you to your door. It's great songwriting because I'm picturing two lovers walking back after a dance or some type of date. Our lips are numb as we walk, sharing warm alcohol. That kiss tastes like summer. I hope you like the stars I stole for you. Absolutely romantic and sweet. 100 million twinkle lights in neon blue. Or later it speaks of glowing in the dark. Now we're speaking of neon colors. It's a very fitting imagery that's being painted here. Again, maybe very fitting to the idea of carnival, right? Where there's lights and there's neon lights and signs and love and joy, and it's romantic. I'll be the brightest someday. I'll be the brightest. You'll see. Maybe also a boy here who says, hey, I got dreams and I'm going to be something one day. I'm going to be a star or famous. I'm going to fly. Watch me. Fitting also to an artist in a circus, right? Someone who was on the trapeze or doing all kinds of wonderful things, telling this girl he loves or cares for, I'm going to be something. I'm going to make something of myself. And I think psychologically that's powerful because all of us in our young years and even throughout life, we want to be someone, be it if you have a career in mind or you dream of achieving some type of goal, you want to be someone, whatever that looks like for you, whatever your goal was as a child, you had dreams and aspirations. And because we're relational creatures, we want to share that with someone. We want to tell that other person, watch me, I'm going to be something. Sometimes that's amplified, of course, if there's people in your life that make you feel like you're never going to amount to something, or if you've had people say unkind things that have ripped at your self-esteem and now you're not so sure, or you start questioning or start buying into that lie that maybe you won't be, and now that need to prove you can, that you will fly eventually, that is amplified. So I think we can all relate to that in different degrees depending on who is speaking into our lives and the voices that we're listening to. But I see the humanity here in telling somebody, I'll be the brightest someday, I'm going to be a star. Don't rain on my parade, it's going to glow in the dark, which is crazy because that is powerful. This is really, these are profound lyrics because on surface level, again, I would think someone is just breaking his heart. He has these dreams, these visions. This is a warm, sweet summer love, and he is asking her not to break his heart. But I think on a deeper level, we're seeing a person, a human being, telling that other person, maybe pleading even with them, to not shoot down their airplane, to not rain on their parade. This expression of don't discourage me, don't diminish what I believe I can be and who I can be. And the more you are around people that you have to fight against or that you have to prove yourself to, or the more you have to advocate for yourself, the harder it gets. You could have a person, especially in their young, childhood or teenage years or as a young adult, who still has a lot of that strength to reach for the stars. But life has a way of wearing us down sometimes. And it is so important to assess who are we surrounding ourselves with, because it does get harder to keep glowing in the dark, to keep shining a light when you're surrounded by negativity or people that will rain on your parade. It's going to glow in the dark, which is interesting because he says, I'll be brightest. And then he speaks of his parade glowing in the dark. Beautiful imagery, again, to what I'm thinking of, this carnival, the circus, which is what that font of Pierce the Veil made me think of on the album cover. And the squeaky carousel sounds in the end. But it's still an element of hope here. My parade is going to glow in the dark. It's going to be something. I'm going to fly. I'm going to be bright. And even in darkness, literally speaking, because a carnival is lit up in the night sky at night. But also metaphorically speaking, when you're surrounded by darkness, maybe mental health struggles, by people that don't want to believe in you, you want to be something that can dance in the light, as I often tell you guys, that can glow in the dark. I like it better when you can't keep warm. Now, this is interesting. Because here, I feel the tone shifting. We went from me, at least personally, assuming this other person was possibly toxic or a heartbreaker. This girl, perhaps, who's raining on his parade, shooting down his airplane, not seeing his potential or whatnot. I'm interpreting this all, of course, subjectively. But now he's saying, I like it better when you can't keep warm. And that's weird, because if someone were to tell me that, I like it better when you can't keep warm, that implies to me that they want me to be cold. And the question then that needs to be asked is why? Do you like to see me suffer? Do you want me to need you? That you become now essential, that I need you to stay warm? Is that why you want me to not be able to keep warm? And now I'm finding elements of manipulation here. And this makes me now wonder, is it him who is creating a relationship here of codependence, of manipulation? Because if I want someone else, if I like someone else better when they can't keep warm, again, to me, subjectively, that implies they want to be needed. You're creating this relationship where the other person needs you to stay warm, so you prefer them to be in a place of need, in a place of not being able to do something without you. Don't ruin a perfect thing. The boy on the blue moon dreams of sun. Okay, very magical language here. But I'm starting to feel like this is shifting, not from her being the heartbreaker, but him having unhealthy dynamics towards her. Or maybe either way. Like, are we just looking at this from both sides? And it's not quite clear who's the unhealthy one. Maybe both. Now, as the rain falls like shattered pieces of glass from the sky, and now the image just drastically changed. It's now no longer raining on a parade. There's glass coming from the sky. I mean, imagine the turmoil, the absolute horror and pain if it were to rain glass from the sky. We bleed like watercolors and drunken pastels down the stairways. Earlier it spoke of warm alcohol or lips being numb. And now we're speaking of watercolors and drunken pastels. Very poetic, very great songwriting, how it's tying these kinds of words. This is poetry to me. I ask myself, why do I still pray? When will it end? And who effing cares? I swear to God, I did what I could. I practically begged you. I pretended everything was fine. And we're going back and forth here between me asking, who in this relationship is the one who is behaving in a toxic way? Or is it both? We have someone begging. We have someone wanting the other to need them, perhaps. We have someone pretending things are fine. A soul sacrifice, an American nightmare. I'd rather be dead. Things have gone sour really bad. We went from an image that painted this beautiful, wonderful summer's evening to a nightmare. Don't rain on my parade. It's going to glow in the dark. And then, the chorus continues. The boy on the blue moon hears a nightmare in his head. And now I wonder if we're also having a conversation here about someone who struggles with mental health. When you have someone who does not love themselves, who is not mentally whole, for whatever reason, struggling with paranoia, depression, anxiety, even if it's not a diagnosed actual mental disorder or personality disorder, just someone who doesn't love themselves, that will come out in relationship. It is hard to be in a healthy relationship with someone when you don't know how to be in relationship with yourself. I'll bet you money has you running to the bathroom. You barely started drinking, but your beauty never stopped you, which is interesting because we've gone from the warm alcohol that has numbed our lips to having to run to the bathroom because of intoxication, perhaps. But what does he mean by I'll bet you money has you running to the bathroom? This is very interesting. Is this a conversation about an eating disorder and all the things that keep us tied? Money, selling ourselves, trying to be beautiful, because we're speaking here of beauty and drinking and money and running to the bathroom. If I take these items apart and don't read them in the order that they were presented, and I just consider that this is the theme of the song, like we look at a movie and we try to find the theme. Maybe the theme here, the picture that's being painted, is someone who is doing things that are harmful, running to the bathroom to possibly be beautiful, and not to a low self-esteem and a distorted view of oneself, and eating disorders, talking about money and that longing for power and beauty and status. Maybe someone who is trying to numb their pain. I mean, however we pull this apart, and maybe the way that it's being put together in these sentences in almost a distorted, confusing way is another way of pointing out how everything's just upside down. That squeaking carousel, everything's distorted, everything's inside out and upside down. And we have a person here who is doing their best to pretend everything's fine. A very unhealthy relationship. You died in California by the sulfur and the sea. I guess I never should have loved you, but I do forever because you loved me. And I break my glasses as I fall in the street. If you were going to leave this world, how could it be without me? Oh my gosh. Now it's all over my tongue and it still has no taste because without you, there is no me. I worry if this person has ended their own lives and has succumbed to their mental struggles, mental health struggles. Because it says, if you were going to leave this world, how could it be without me? How could you leave this world without me? Has this person died? Is this someone who they loved, who is gone, who has succumbed to their struggle with substances, who has succumbed to the things that drinking, money, that whole world can bring with itself? I break my glasses as I fall in the street. It makes me, maybe a double entendre glasses, the kind you use to see where you're going, but also glasses as in a drinking glass. I picture someone stumbling across the street, drinking, trying to numb their pain, falling to the ground, breaking because they have been, they're distraught. They're in turmoil because someone is gone. There's no me at all. Sometimes love dies like a dog. And the way that the scream happened, the shredding on the guitar, the whole composition was so fitting to the pain that the song actually conveys. It was crazy. Don't rain on my parade. It's going to glow in the dark. I'm losing a perfect thing. And now I wonder if this is not just about a love that has fallen apart or someone that's been betrayed, but someone who is actually gone, who has ended their life. And you have a person now left behind saying, how could you leave me? I tried to make sure everything was perfect. Everything's broken. It's raining shattered glass. I'm bleeding. I'm hurting. How could you have left without me? And if that's what this song is about, I think the composition, the shredding, the screams, that vocal fry, the high-pitched voice, the vocal control and range was so fitting to the pain and the turmoil that is being conveyed here. What a song. What a band. I am intrigued. Pierce the Veil. All right, guys. Thank you for introducing me to this one. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share. Go check out Pierce the Veil on YouTube, Instagram, and more. And I will see you on the next ride. Heyo!